Jai Shri Ram. How many of these words do you really know and use that have the suffix ISE? For example, womanize. Womanizing, to flirt with or seduce or attempt to seduce women. A very lecherous character, womanizing. So, in order to womanize, uh, some people abuse their high social status. So, let's look at some more examples. He did not take his marital commitment seriously and continued to womanize, drink heavily, and take narcotics. So he did not take his marital commitment seriously and continued to womanize. So he abused his high social status to womanize. So womanize means to seduce. So womanize means to seduce or to flirt with, attempt to seduce women, especially very lecherously. Lecherous means very lusty. So IZE, let's look at some more words which you can learn and use. Scandalize. Now, what is scandalizing? To cause great offense to someone. We were scandalized by his language. So, bootulanni vaadadu. So we were scandalized. Infantilize. Infantilize is a word, you see, which means, treat somebody as an infant, to reduce a person to the status of an infant. In advertisements, you find adults behaving like idiots. In fact, not idiots, but infants. So that is infantilizing grown ups. While eating chocolate, and so many advertisements, you see, where grown ups are behaving very immaturely. Villainize, Villainise or ZE also. Villainizing, you see, in Bollywood, Bollywood, Kachadawood, Gutterwood movies, you will find Hindu characters, Brahmins, Thakur, Baniya, everyone villainized, always portrayed in a negative role, whereas Muslim and Christian are always shown in positive roles. They are almost canonized. Canonize. Canonize means to raise to the level of a saint. Dehumanize. Dehumanize. To remove any or deny human qualities, characteristics, or attributes. So dehumanize would mean take away humanity and make someone feel or behave more like an animal than a human being. Being deprived of clothes, dehumanize the prisoners. To make someone feel or behave like an animal more than a human being. So, in police stations and in prisons, prisoners are, stripped of their clothes. And being deprived of clothes dehumanized the prisoners. So, dehumanize means to humiliate, brutalize, demean, degrade. So dehumanize means to humiliate. Over intellectualize. Over intellectualize would mean to treat something in an excessively intellectual manner. So this is a nice word, over intellectualization. To over intellectualize. To intellectualize something to an excessive degree. Now what is intellectualize? To give a rational form, to give a logical, rational form. There are some things, in life that cannot be intellectualized, and indeed the attempt to do so cheapens them. So there are so many customs in Hinduism. Don't try to intellectualize them, and don't even try to explain to a foreigner. Just leave it as it is. So there is a deeper sentiment, and religious and spiritual sentiments are there. So they cannot be intellectualized, and any attempt to intellectualize them actually cheapens them. So do not. Another example. Let us see some more examples. Levi doesn't intellectualize it like that. It doesn't have a straightforward intention. Okay, the next. The source coding practice is best for people who overthink and intellectualize problems instead of finding a solution. So people tend to overthink and intellectualize problems instead of finding a solution, and that's not a good thing. So over intellectualization, tending to over intellectualize emotions. Don't over intellectualize emotions. We all feel because we are humans, and So respect the emotion for what it is and don't try to over intellectualize emotions. Now, some more examples. What drives us food writers to overthink and over intellectualize what is, in essence, a plastic cup of sugar and ice? Okay. So, food also, there are too many people who over intellectualize about everything and come up with weird kind of logical and reasoning explanations which don't make any sense. So the over intellectualization of fashion, of food, of wine, and the fussiness and obsessiveness with silly adjectives, this over intellectualization of movies also. Okay, a movie has to be enjoyed. Yes, some movies are highbrow movies like Matrix uh, and Interstellar, but that doesn't mean that you over intellectualize the complete movie. After all, my over intellectualizations on addictions, how corny that the answer's been one infomercial away. Okay. Over intellectualizations on addictions. So don't over intellectualize your art. Do not over intellectualize your art or religion for that matter. Jai Shri Ram. I hope you learnt a few interesting words in this eyes series. I'll stop here because it's becoming too lengthy. We'll have more like this. Keep listening and improve. I feel tempted to add one more. Bastardize. Now, what is this bastardize? Bastardize. That means to actually spoil. Bastardizing means to corrupt. So, bastardizing means to reduce from a higher to a lower state or condition. Of course, the word bastard means a person who is born outside marriage, out of wedlock. Wedlock means marriage. So, to bastardize means to modify by damaging it, introducing discordant, disparate elements, debase it, to reduce it, corrupt it. To debase means to lower in status, esteem, quality, or character. So that is bastardization. Bastardization of the culture by Bollywood. That's what they've been doing for the last 70 years. Bastardization of Hindu culture. Cultural genocide. Now, cultural genocide is another interesting phrase which means trying to destroy culture in very insidious ways. Insidious means something that is extremely dangerous but not obvious. It is hidden. Chapakinda Neeru Laga. Jai Shri Ram.